So, what happens when someone actually tries those viral fitness trends you see all over social media? For 7 straight days, one subject put them to the test. The whole idea was to see if the online hype can actually deliver real, measurable results. Let's break down the data and find out. And that really is the million-dollar question here, isn't it? Do more views automatically mean more gains? We're about to dig into the hard numbers from this experiment to see if these workouts that explode online can genuinely build strength, muscle, and performance. All right, here's our game plan. First, we'll look at how the experiment was set up and the pretty unique training methods that were used. Then we'll lock in the all-important day one baseline. After that, we get to the good stuff, the 7-day results. And finally, I'll give you my analyst verdict on the whole thing. Now, from a sports science angle, what we're looking at is an N of 1 case study. That's just a fancy way of saying a really deep dive on one single person. The goal here was to target those muscles that most of us neglect, forearms, neck, grip, using nothing but workouts that blew up online. So, what exactly did he do for 7 days? Well, the subject used 6 very different protocols. To make sense of it all, we're going to group them together thematically, starting with the real old-school strength and conditioning stuff. First on the list, rice bucket training. And look, this is far from some new trend. It's an ancient tool for martial arts. The magic here is the 360-degree resistance you get from the rice. It works all those tiny, intricate muscles in your hands, wrists, and forearms in a way that weights just can't. And the subject's feedback from day one is a really critical piece of data. This quote tells us everything. The fact that he couldn't even make a fist, that signals an immediate and pretty extreme level of muscle fatigue. It's a dead giveaway that the exercise hit some seriously undertrained muscle groups right out of the gate. Next up, we have iron fist training. The principle behind this is actually really simple. Your body adapts to the stress you put on it. The repeated impact of striking the sand creates microtrauma, and as the body heals, the theory is that your bones, your skin, and your connective tissues all come back stronger and denser. This quote, wow, it really paints a picture of the raw intensity of this training. From an analytical perspective, it tells us the subject was pushing way past a normal pain threshold. And for this kind of extreme physical adaptation, that's often part of the process. Okay, so besides those really intense conditioning methods, the other workouts fall into 2 pretty distinct camps. On one side, you have more recognizable strength work, like specific neck training and using grip trainers. And on the other side, well, you have the more out there biohacking trends like height maxing and even trying to change your eye color. Now, to analyze any of this properly, we have to know where we started. We need a clear, unshakable baseline. So let's look at the subject's key performance metrics, all measured on day one, before a single workout was done. So this is our starting data, our ground zero. We've got the circumference for the forearms and neck. We have a precise grip strength reading from a dynamometer, which is the gold standard. We have a towel dead hang to test raw grip endurance, and of course, a height measurement. These are the numbers to beat. All right, this is the moment of truth. After 7 straight days of this intense, to say the least, training program, what actually changed? It's time to put the day 7 data right up against that baseline and see how effective this viral gauntlet really was. Let's start with the physical measurements, and whoa, the changes were pretty immediate and significant. Both forearms got bigger, and the neck added almost half an inch in circumference. Now, for just 1 week of training, those are pretty substantial gains. It's likely a combination of short-term muscle swelling, the pump, and some actual new growth. But the improvements in functional strength were even more dramatic. Just look at this. The subject's towel dead hang time went up by a massive 77%, jumping from 22 seconds all the way to 39 seconds. That is a huge leap in functional grip endurance, absolutely massive. So what about that biohacking stuff? Did the height maxing work? Well, his height did increase by almost a full centimeter, which is a real measurable change. But let's be clear. This is almost certainly due to better posture from all the stretching and spinal decompression from doing dead hangs, not from his bones getting any longer. The progress with the hand grippers was just wild. He started the week struggling with a 125-pound gripper, and by day 6, he had completely mastered a 175-pounder. That kind of rapid progression is insane, and it would suggest a massive increase in his crushing strength. So you'd expect the official measurement to be through the roof.
I mean, with that much specific training and seeing him fly through the grippers like that, his objective grip strength on the dynamometer must have skyrocketed, right? Well, this is where the data tells a much, much more complicated story.
And here is the big twist. His left hand strength barely moved. But his right hand, the one that was taking an absolute beating from the iron fist training, it actually got 14 pounds weaker. This is a classic textbook sign of severe overtraining. The volume was just too high and the intensity was too much, with zero recovery. It created so much fatigue that it completely wiped out any potential strength gains.
Now, on the qualitative side, the results were incredible. The subject went from not being able to break one board to smashing through 3. He went from failing to crush an apple to literally making it explode. This points to a huge boost in his confidence and his ability to apply power. And yeah, the eye color experiment, unsurprisingly, no change there.
So, after digging through all that data, the good, the bad, and the just plain weird, what's the final verdict? What's the bottom line here? Let's distill all of this into the key takeaways from this wild 7-day experiment. Okay, first finding, these ancient conditioning methods, they can absolutely deliver rapid results. Second, and this is so important, how strong you feel or how well you do on one specific tool does not always equal objective gains. That leads right into our third point, overtraining is very real. And without recovery, more work can actually make you weaker. Fourth, those biohacking claims, totally unfounded. So the real lesson is this: viral isn't always viable, but it isn't always useless either. Some of these things clearly work, but only if you're smart about it.
Ultimately, this whole experiment is just a fascinating case study in the potential and the peril of viral fitness. It leaves us with a really critical question to think about. What is the true potential of pushing our bodies with these unconventional methods, and what are the very real dangers we need to watch out for along the way?